The Persona series is often held in high regard due to its colorful cast of well-written characters. From the students to robots to knife-wielding dogs, there's a little bit of something for everyone. And while I usually pay the bills around here by throwing these kids into perilous situations, I thought I'd do something a bit different this time around, and give you all something a bit more simple while we prepare the craziest upload for the channel's history. I've spent the past week meticulously researching every single modern Persona trilogy playable character and found one insanely stupid or absurd fact about each of them. Strap in, folks, because this one's a doozy. This is one absurd fact about every Persona character. Regardless of the ending, the protagonist will always die on March 5th, 2010. Funnily enough, the birthday of the male protagonist's voice actor, Yuri Lowenthal, is March 5th as well. This is notable because it mirrors the real-life event of Yuri Lowenthal's chances of voicing Yosuke Hanamura in the Persona 4 remake. Despite not having a Mii costume or even a spirit in the game, Kotone can actually be seen in Smash Ultimate. It's a very blink and you miss it appearance, but on the Persona 3 variant of the Memento stage, occasionally a TV platform will appear, which is playing some cutscenes from Persona 3 Portable as seen here. In an event in Persona Q, it is revealed that Yukari Takaba reads fanfiction. You might be thinking, Joe, that's a pretty simple and fast fact, so let me throw in a bonus one for you. When researching online where this was stated in the game, I found a Reddit thread discussing headcanons of which fanfiction Yukari reads. And, well, it turns out that the Yandere dev has written smut fanfiction about Persona 3 before. So, do with that as you will. Junpei's original victory pose alludes to John Travolta's disco pose of Saturday Night Fever. The pose could also be a reference to when a New York Yankees player, Wade Boggs, jumped onto a horse after a World Series baseball game, and that might seem like an appealing theory based on Junpei's future profession. The John Travolta pose is just kind of one-to-one. Alright, let's get this one out of the way. Akihiko Sanada has been depicted numerous times across the series as someone who regularly fights bears. In Persona 4 Arena, it's stated that he fought wild bears as a means of training. Then in Persona Q2, when the party is met with a giant bear foe, he steps forward and says what an amazing opponent it would be. And then finally, in Persona 5, during an interview, he is referenced as a legendary gumshoe who once took down a bear. Alright, that's the JoeFredrick Persona video quote I met. We can move on now. In Persona 3, if the player is using some sort of cheating device, Mitsuru will scold the player directly. But since Fuka does this as well, here's a bonus fact. In Persona 3 Reload, if the player refuses to go to Mementos by April 30th, she will force the party to enter and will refuse to let them leave prematurely. During the Persona 4 Golden Ski trip, Yosuke tells the group about a friend's sister who bullied a girl in the same class. He mentions that she went to a prestigious school and hung out with a bad crowd. He then goes on to say that the events happened 3 years ago, and then Naoto adds on that she remembers hearing about this case. This story is a reference to the introductory events of Fuka Yamagishi. Ken's pairing with Koromaru in Persona 4 Arena may be a reference to the connections between the arcanas of Justice and Strength. In some interpretations of the major arcana, Justice is the 8th card and Strength is the 11th, while in other interpretations, it's actually the other way around. By fighting as one character, it could be interpreted as them sharing their slot on the roster. And because of that, this will also count as Koromaru's fact. No, just kidding, I've got something else. Once again in Persona 4 Arena, there is official concept art depicting Koromaru with another dog with a bunch of puppies. What can we glean from this? Koromaru fuck! I don't really have a funny one here for Shinjiro, so I'm gonna give you a basic one and then an anecdotal fact. In Persona 3 Reload, Shinjiro's finisher tagline in combat is "Don't waste your breath." This is a double meaning. This can either mean "Don't even bother trying since you might lose in the end," or it can be taken towards his allies as "Make the most of your life since it's scarce." Everyone feeling good now? Great! As for the weird one, when Adam and I were making which Persona characters could survive a deserted island, because Shinjiro doesn't have a Persona 4 Arena sprite, and there's not that many official renders of him, we initially tried making a Mii Fighter green screen, but we could never get it to look quite right. So Adam got really creative and just gave him a dinky little kick. Look at how stupid this looks! Did you know that... Jesus, what am I, did you know gaming? Did you know? In 2007, a prequel to Persona 3 called Aegis, the first mission, was released on mobile devices. The game goes over Aegis' origins prior to the events of Persona 3. The game apparently got a modern release on Steam and Switch, but only in Japan. That's all for now, but if you want to learn more about Did You Know Gaming, go ahead and check out our video on which Mario fans could kill your parents. Here's an interesting fact for you. Did you know that today's video was sponsored by Figgies? This is the, second sponsor I've ever had. How are the transitions? So in case you guys haven't heard about this yet, let me break it down for you. Figgies are a brand new line of magnet-like collectibles covering some of your favorite franchises. Those including Sonic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Persona, and Metaphor. So here are some of Sonic's figures, footage by Adam, and then here are some of the Metaphor ones I got. So I'm gonna be so for real with you guys. I used to collect Funko Pops when I was in high school, and I haven't felt that need to want to collect things as much as I have when I got my hands on the Figgies. They're these little like 2.5D magnet things that can either stand to the little metal backgrounds that they provide you, either on a flat surface or displayed with these little podium thingies. With such a cool uniform art style that isn't just the hollow eyes of a Funko Pop, and with its very in-depth integrated app usage where you can scan the codes on the back to get all of the fun details on your personal Figgy, these are going to be a collector's new dream at an affordable price. But this is the important part, okay? This is the part that you have to listen to. Please, go ahead and use my referral code on screen, when you're checking out. This will help support the channel and you'll get some discounts towards your purchase. While we might still be a few weeks away from the official Persona merch getting released, if you go to the website right now, they have some Metaphor ones available. So please consider checking them out and supporting them. The more you support them, the more you support me. But with that all being said, let's get back into the video. Starting us off with the Persona 4 characters, this one's gonna require a bit more of an explanation. But Yuno Arakami is one of few characters whose anime depictions actually had a substantial impact on their characterization in the games. Narakami's shadow self originated from the anime adaptation of the character, but would later reappear in Persona 4 Arena. Additionally, while the previous protagonist's anime depictions tend to play things a bit closer to the source material, after the Persona 4 anime, the depiction of Yu in the future releases like Arena and Crosstag leaned heavily into his power of friendship and Bond's personality that the anime established. If that's not interesting enough for you, Yuno Arakami canonically hates his world's version of the Twilight books. During early stages of Persona 4's development, both Yosuke and Yukiko were considered to be main antagonists at some point. Yosuke in particular was considered in pursuit of creating a sympathetic villain, but this idea didn't last long in the developer room. If the protagonist's part-time jobs are counted, those being janitor, tutor, and daycare employee, Chie is the only character without a job, as all characters but her have occupations as students. Even Teddy, who one could argue doesn't count, is seen to work at Junes alongside Yosuke. It's revealed that in one of the Persona 4 art books, the Alice drag costume that Teddy can be seen wearing was actually designed by Kanji. Inside the DVD of Persona 4, there's a hidden audio file of Teddy describing Naoto's current status ailments. This scenario is impossible considering the timeline of the game, since by the time that Naoto joins the party, Teddy will no longer be the navigator. During the Visit in Port Island's club escapade in Persona 4, Rise reveals that she had a secret show here 2 years prior, but the power went out in the middle of her performance. This actually references the Sea's full moon operation in September of 2009. The gun left behind in the bonus boss in the secret laboratory is called Algernon. Its description states that it was named after an experimentation in finding happiness. This is a reference to the book Flowers for Algernon. Not only is this kind of a weird reference, but it also reminded me of reading this book in middle school and having a severe panic attack in the middle of the classroom. So, yay! Alright, he's not a party member, but people are gonna get mad if I skip Itachi again. So, here you go! Itachi features various references in his color palettes in Persona 4 Arena. Those include some for characters like Dojima, Katsuya, and Theodore. Outside these references, there are some color palettes referencing Yuki from BlazBlue, Robo-Kai Kisk from Guilty Gear, but most importantly, the Joker, baby!
You're so cool and big! I misunderstood.
While we might be done with Persona 4, Joker actually almost was in Arena. Supposedly in the game's files, there's some code indicating he could have been a fighter, accompanied by his early unused persona, the word on screen. In the Thieves' Den, when playing as Ryuji, you can actually hear the limp in his running sound effect. In Persona 5 Royal, if Ann levels up after her showtime with Morgana, her level up portrait will change. Also, when researching the trivia pages of all of the characters' Wikipedia for this video, Ann easily had the shortest entry for a mainline character, even resulting in having to talk about her zodiac signs. This is incredibly funny to me. Morgana's favorite nut is the cashew. 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 Morgana! One of Yusuke's battle quotes when the player is struggling to decide what to do is, "How do you want to do this?"
How do you want to do this?
Which is one of Matt Mercer's catchphrases in his D&D show, Critical Role. Oh, and Matt Mercer voices Yusuke. I feel like that's pretty clear at this point. All right, for the people who don't think I talk about Makoto enough, here's a long one. While there are many debates to be had over who the canon love interest is across the main 3 games, Makoto Nijima, whether you like to admit it or not, is the developer's intended route. She is the only romance option who is available for both the Hawaii Final Day and student sharing schedule. Her rank 9 is the only one in the game with voice acting. Her romance route is the only one that alters Joker's dialogue choices to fit the relationship in the main story. During the Christmas event, she is the only romance option to fluster Joker. And finally, she is the only one to stay the night with him after the White Day event. Am I the biggest Makoto fan? Well, if you're already subscribed to the channel, you know the answer to that. But I was just surprised to see how much there actually was here to push the envelope. According to Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, Haru has no idea how to operate a computer. And no, this doesn't mean she can explode them with her mind like people tried to tell me in the FNAF video. She just is boomer coded. Futaba Sakura has a Katharina statue in her room. This is a reference to the game Catherine, also developed by Atlas. Oh man, there's so many good choices and so little time. Okay, so unsurprisingly, Akechi was actually the inspiration for this video when I was thinking about the fact that data miners actually proved that Akechi is a Redditor. But I'm gonna take this one step forward and talk about Heroward. The Robin Hood persona design was heavily inspired by Western hero media like Superman, but when they were making Heroward, they instead decided to take design elements from Batman. This is the 3rd time DC has been mentioned in this persona video, and that's kind of surprising. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Did you guys enjoy this? I know this might have felt like a filler video to hold us over until Persona vs. Danganronpa, but I don't know, I had fun making it. Would you guys be interested in maybe a follow-up to this video where we talk about the social links, supporting characters, Velvet Room attendants, and more of the spin-off playable characters? That could be fun. Fuck it, I don't know. But anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, you know the drill, and yeah, I don't really know how to end the video. It's over, guys. You can go home.